Okay, this here is the review of the one position I did get into in Apple today. Early morning, really nothing was going on until almost lunchtime. Set up in a range and got the first significant break here of 144.20. Got some 144 puts and wrote them down. Took my first portion of the trade off at 148 as that option doubled. Luckily, caught almost the bottom of that move and ended up working out very well. Couldn't really ask for a much better trade than that. I did have to exercise an extreme amount of patience, excuse me, as price kind of chopped around quite a bit. Looked like it was going to stop me out as I was holding at break even. Just kind of a new little thing that I'm experimenting with. Wanted to hold it as long as possible just to see what was going to happen. Wanted to see it come down to this 142.20 level, which it actually came very, very close today, and got me out at 180 once it found a decent amount of buyers on the tape. Started speeding up and looked like it wasn't necessarily going to break. Now, going into tomorrow, what happened today towards the middle of the afternoon, later in the day, looks to me like it may have simply been shorts earlier in the day that were simply covering their positions. Now, if it does keep bouncing tomorrow, it's no problem. The chart is still not bullish at all, in my opinion, still below all my significant moving averages, and as such, I'm going to look at all these levels as resistance. First level of resistance I'm going to look at is 145.20 area, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten this up just a little bit. So basically around 145, I'm going to have a level there. Go ahead and put a line. That's going to basically correspond to this 8 EMA. Next level up is going to be around 147 to 147 and a half, which is the 21 EMA. I'm actually going to get rid of this trend line. I don't like how it cuts through price. Once it does so, it's probably not valid anymore, at least not in my opinion. Keep my chart fairly clean as well. Now 147.5 is a very important level as it's basically the top of the range that it's now in. It's now pierced outside of the low of the range and the high of the range. So whichever way it breaks, could expect fairly decent move, or maybe market makers are just trapping people on both sides outside of this range. So it might take some time for this to resolve itself and move one way or the other. This is simply going to be my plan for what I'm looking for tomorrow. There may be resistance here at the gap as well. Only time will tell what's really going to happen. Now, on the off chance that price action actually gaps below this 142, we'll be looking to short it as a resistance with a stop just above this 142 area. So I'm actually going to put a note down here, short below 142.20. If that happens to trigger, the next target up is going to be the next round number of about 140, which is not too far away in the grand scheme of things and how Apple is moving on a daily basis right now. It's very volatile, so it could potentially move down there. I'm not saying it will, I'm just saying it's possible. If it does break this 142 level, at that point the measure move of this flag could possibly come into play. I'm going to go ahead and move one of these lines down here. If the measure move does play out, I'm actually counting it from about where price did break this trend, which was 145.30. We'll be looking for a price target down here around 132-ish. And as you can see, the 200 period exponential moving average is coming up, and that's where price action may meet it. So we'll see what actually happens going forward. This is simply my plan and what I'm looking for tomorrow. Good luck.